Hello and welcome to Conics. Have you ever had a brilliant idea and thought, hey, I could turn this into a business? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating phenomenon that has reshaped our world, the incredible rise of startups. From the apps on our phones to the way we shop and travel, startups are everywhere, and their story is one of innovation, ambition, and a little bit of creative chaos. So, what exactly kicked off this global startup boom? Let's find out together. First, let's rewind the clock a bit. The term startup isn't new, but its modern meaning really took shape with the dot-com bubble of the late 90s. That was the first major wave where technology and business collided in such a public and explosive way. Sure, many of those early companies didn't make it, but they planted a crucial seed. They showed the world that a couple of people in a garage with a powerful idea could genuinely challenge established giants. That spirit, that David versus Goliath mentality, is the very heart of startup culture. So, what changed between then and now? The biggest game changer has been the sheer accessibility of technology. Think about it. 20 years ago, if you wanted to start a software company, you needed massive, expensive servers, complex infrastructure, and a huge upfront investment. Today, you can spin up a server in the cloud for the price of a few coffees. Services like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure have democratized the tools needed to build and scale a tech company. The barrier to entry has plummeted, allowing anyone with coding skills and a laptop to start building the next big thing from their bedroom. This technological leap is the bedrock upon which the modern startup ecosystem is built. But technology is only one part of the equation. The other critical ingredient is capital. Enter the age of venture capital, or VC. While VCs have been around for a while, their focus and scale have shifted dramatically. They're no longer just funding established businesses. They're actively hunting for early-stage startups with high growth potential. They're willing to place big bets on visionary founders, understanding that while many will fail, the one that succeeds, the next Google, the next Airbnb, could deliver astronomical returns. This flood of venture capital has created a high-stakes, higher-reward environment that fuels rapid innovation. It gives founders the resources they need to hire talent, market their product, and scale their operations at a speed that was previously unimaginable. Beyond tech and money, there's been a massive cultural shift. The idea of a job for life at a large corporation is fading. For many, especially younger generations, the allure of working at a startup is powerful. It's about more than just a paycheck. It's about having an impact, owning a piece of the company you're building, and being part of a mission you believe in. Startup culture often emphasizes flexibility, creativity, and a flat hierarchy, which is a huge draw compared to the often rigid structures of traditional companies. The figure of the founder has been elevated to rock star status. We celebrate entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Whitney Wolfe Herd as visionaries who dared to think differently. This cultural celebration inspires more and more people to take the leap and start their own ventures. Let's look at some real-world examples of how this plays out. Take the sharing economy. Companies like Uber and Airbnb didn't invent taxis or hotels. Instead, they used technology to unlock underutilized assets, people's cars, and spare rooms. They saw a problem, like the inefficiency of finding a cab or the high cost of travel accommodation, and built a tech platform to solve it. This model has been replicated across countless industries, from food delivery with DoorDash to freelance work with Upwork. They are classic startup stories. Identify a point of friction in an old industry and apply a new tech-driven solution. Another huge area is fintech, or financial technology. Traditional banking has been slow to change for decades. Startups like Stripe, Square, and Revolut have completely disrupted how we pay, get paid, and manage our money. Stripe made it incredibly simple for any online business to accept payments, something that used to be a complicated and expensive process. They focused on creating a developer-friendly tool, and in doing so became the backbone of millions of online businesses. This is a perfect example of a startup succeeding by focusing on a specific, painful problem and solving it brilliantly. But it's not all smooth sailing. The startup world is notoriously tough. The statistics are sobering. The vast majority of startups fail within their first few years. The pressure to grow at all costs, fueled by venture capital expectations, can lead to burnout. Flawed business models, and a growth at any cost mentality that isn't always sustainable or healthy. The path of an entrepreneur is filled with uncertainty, long hours, and constant challenges. For every celebrated success story, there are thousands of stories of failed ventures and forgotten ideas. It takes immense resilience, adaptability, and a strong support system to navigate this journey. So, what's next for the world of startups? The trends are pointing towards even more specialized and impactful areas. We're seeing a huge surge in startups focused on climate tech, developing solutions for renewable energy, carbon capture, and sustainable agriculture. Health tech is another booming field, with companies innovating in areas like personalized medicine, mental wellness, and remote patient care. And, of course, artificial intelligence is touching everything, with AI-powered startups emerging to automate tasks, analyze data, and create new possibilities in almost every sector imaginable. The future of startups will likely be less about simple consumer apps and more about solving some of the world's most complex and pressing problems. In conclusion, the rise of startups is not a fleeting trend. It's a fundamental shift in how our economy works and how innovation happens. It's a powerful combination of accessible technology, available capital, and a cultural embrace of entrepreneurship. While the path is risky and fraught with failure, It is this relentless drive to build, to innovate, and to challenge the status quo that pushes society forward. Startups are the engines of modern progress, turning bold ideas into the reality of tomorrow. So, the next time you use an app that makes your life a little easier, remember the incredible journey of risk, passion, and innovation that likely brought it into existence. Thank you so much for joining me on Connix today to explore the rise of startups. If you found this topic interesting, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'd love to have you in our community. See you in the next one.